they weren't able to make it work. So I said to Ridley, can I not just, I mean, it's simpler. I'll just put my thumbs in his eyes, we'll get some blood going, and then give me a close-up so I can do something which I really would like to do. I don't know if it's going to be okay, but I would like to give it a shot, and then you can cut between the two, and then you'll save the awkwardness between how to make the kill real. And that's basically where I got a chance to show, like, you know, 9 colors while he's killing his man, which really helps for the character. Otherwise, it would just be, you know. So, you know, and Ridley basically said to all the actors in the beginning, he said,
I'm sorry he's busy, he can't accept it.
Basically said, Ridley said, I did Alien, I'm a so-called technical director, I want, this is an actor's movie, we don't have a lot of action, I want you to give me anything you can give me that will help. So he was really saying this to all of us. And he made a change there, and it was nice.
It's all right. Listen, I'm going to take a little time now. Jim, serious. Serious. Here we are, 3 actors. We're famous, not famous. Rutger is the most famous. And we've all had success, we've had failures, and we may be looked upon as something to, you know, geez, an actor, they got money, they got fame, they got nightclubs, women. That's not true. I want to tell you a true story about a man's failure, which was me. And it came on radio, and I'm going to take about 2 minutes to tell you the story, which is true. And in this day and age, truth is difficult to come by. We have a criminal government, untruthful. Every government in the damn world is untruthful. I'm going to be truthful and reveal something that was important to me, and it moved me in my life. My mother and father came to visit me when I made the film, and my daddy was showing signs of going down. Walk out, he would circle the block, and I went out to get him. I had to change my father's diaper. He never had a diaper, I had it, and it killed me. And I was rehearsing at the same time, and I had 900 pages of dialogue. It was on and on and on and on. We got to the set, and I was concerned about my parents. I could have taken a hotel room, but I'm not going to leave my parents alone. It was the winter time, or beginning to be winter. I got on the set and I wasn't totally prepared as I have been all my life. And I messed up on dialogue. I had difficulty with dialogue. I felt terrible. Ricky, can you please put something up on, I'll read cues. I've never read cues before. I was on Broadway, I've done plays. I felt terrible. So I want you to know, in this glamorous world of ours, we got through the show, we got through the picture, and we got through it, and I felt bad that I didn't give my best. In Blade Runner, I was pretty good. I could have been damn good. I could have been better than that. But I didn't prepare because my parents, and I love them dearly, my father, and he was showing signs of decay. And I think of him now, and I put on his grave when he died. Here rests Benjamin Turkel, an heroic, gentle working man. Thus passes the glory of the world. And I miss him to this day. And I couldn't abandon him. So I had to, they were in my apartment. And I redid the picture. And I had to ask for dialogue help. And in his book, I was reviled for it. I was being put down by people close to Ridley. He was worthless. No human being is worthless. They said that about me. Yes. And they said other things. Mr. Ridley Scott wrote this book, and then he was honest. He said I had difficulty with dialogue. I said, Ridley, oh, Rutger Hauer. Oh. I'm emotional about it. Rutger wrote the book. Joe had difficulty with the dialogue, but he was having some difficulty with his father, and he had a ton of dialogue. He was honest in his book. So I want you to know that all of us don't live these glorious lives. We make great mistakes, and we pay for our mistakes. And but we struggle through. All of you are struggling now in the difficult times we live in. Keep going. Remember our failures, and you'll handle your own much, much better. That's all.
done 450 films and TV, and definitely Blade Runner is on the top, along with Big Trouble in China, of course. But Thorne, would you turn the camera on the audience? I want to get a shot of everybody, if you don't mind. You don't have to sign a release. Just say, yes, I give you permission. Just say, yes. Good, great.
Checks in the mail.
Not enough of me and the rest of the panel. But we're about to wrap it up. So in a way, that gentleman has a question, and he may have to stay after we leave.
Mr. Hong, while you have the microphone, would you comment on another iconic role of yours that I know everyone's curious about, your participation, your work with Roman Polanski and Jack Nicholson in Chinatown?
Oh, yes. Well, it was a great luxury and a great experience. And I'll make it short. It shows you how I had to bear the bad times and the good times. In a way, the low budgets and the high budgets. I was cast into Chinatown already, and so I was doing the low budget TV series called the remake of Perry Mason the second time around. I was in the first one too with Raymond Burr. The second time with something.
Marty Markham.
Yeah, he asked how old I am. I'm 83, but Joe is what?
84 and a half, I'll be 85 this July.
All right.
No hair dye. My mother was 98 when she passed on and moved forward. She had brown hair. That's it. Genetics.
So anyway, again, what was your question? Oh yeah, Chinatown. Okay, so I was doing the last scenes in Perry Mason, and they said, hurry up, you know. And so one take, I did my scene. I rushed over to Chinatown, the set, and there was Jack Nicholson, and that little house where Jack was trying to push it his way in and saw Faye Dunaway, right? And he slapped her and all that stuff. So it was just in the beginning of that so-called scene, and they did, I don't know, after about 20 takes of Jack Nicholson getting out of his car and coming up to that little house, you know, that little old house. And I said, my gosh, is this the difference between a big production and a little production where I just did one take, and here's Jack taking, 20 takes to come up the driveway. So in a sense, the big budget production can afford a lot of takes, except at the end of the schedule, But Polanski and The Godfather we were filming about the same time, and they both were taking like 20, 25 takes, So it's perfection in that sense in the drama. You just have to do everything correctly. The directors try everything, and then they pick the best things that they film. So, that was my experience with Chinatown, because Roman, again, taught me things that I never learned before, and it reinstated what Ridley did in a sense. You notice Roman Polanski always had something weird about his scenes, And how is he different from the other directors I worked with? I would again say there's something crazy about Roman. There's something about him that we don't really understand. And he somehow is able as an artist to pick that from his soul and brain and put it onto film, I think his first film was Knife in the Water or something. And he showed his genius at that time and how troubled he was. And he carried it on to the rest of his films. And unfortunately, in his real life, he was kicked out of the country, right? So that's about it. The Chinatown was a great film, another classic. So between Blade Runner, Chinatown, and Big Trouble, and a few others, I've had a wonderful career. And thank you.
We've got just a few minutes left. I'd like to give each of these gentlemen an opportunity for some closing remarks and to tell us what they're up to these days. And specifically, Mr. Hauer, I'd like to ask
you about a recent phenomenon you have appeared in called Hobo with a Shotgun.
Let them close first. I want the last word.
I have been in this business since 1948. I've enjoyed the ups and downs, marriage, children, divorce, broke, wealthy, done it all. And the only thing that I'll take with me is the pleasure that I see in the faces of you people, the pleasure that we've given you. You can't fucking beat it!
Running for the President of the United States. That's all we have to say, isn't it? We're going to wrap this up and go back to our chow mein.
Yeah, I'll say something about the whole. How long? Yeah, you know, it's you know, but you think like it's we've seen so many things, you know, not just labor, and we've seen all those things that are changing, and like when you say, you know, work, you know, Chinatown, I've seen a few sets, and you know, IKEA, and the setups, you know, the setups, which basically is where everybody prepares to do what they're going to do, would take, for each shot, it would take at least an hour. You could bet that it would take at least an hour. Blade Runner, sometimes it would take a day for one shot. And thank God for him, because that was really, you know, it's his favorite film, by the way. It's his art film. It's his art film. He's very proud of it. And so, from the moment where we were taking days, or, you know, hours, we've gone to 20 seconds. Two, with all the cameras that can photograph at any time, and if you have a DOP who knows what he's doing, he's ready pretty much now. And we have to go. And thank God for the training that we got, but it's different for actors and it's different for filmmakers now because the budget is so small. Anyway, Hobo was one of those films where they found some money for a little movie with a lot of love, and everybody just jumped in and made it into what it is, and I think it shows. But I think that's the way a lot of us have to make movies now if we want to do what we love to do. Times have changed, it's just that way. And some of this is art. And you know, some of this is art.
Relatively hesitant to say this. He's written a book, and it's a marvelous book. And the comment that I made before about me and the dialogue and all of that, the book is called Rutger Hauer, All Those Moments. And if you like Mr. Hauer, who doesn't, get the book, you might enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, we can do one more thing for
Well,
a while.
of course.
Yeah.
One more thing.
And then one more.
So, as I'm saying, I love Charlotte, and I'm going to be here back and forth. I'm here hoping to plan to make the sequel to Big Trouble be called Big Trouble in Little Charlotte. Because if the Big Trouble's here, it'll be a 12-hour film.
God bless all of you, and thank you for coming.
When Blade Runner came out, a lot of people didn't like it, and a lot of people didn't understand it. But here we are 30 years later, and we have American Film Institute's top 10 science fiction films of all time, AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies, Time Magazine's all-time 100